Make some noise now. Start clapping now for the one, the only. Come on, guys. Mr. Ryan D. Let him hear it. Come on, let him hear it.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Hit the Mics with Ryan D. I, of course, am Ryan D, joined today by Mr. Raymond Barcello.
Hey, I love that intro.
Raymundo
Raymundo.
Barcello.
Barcello.
Dude, it's been a long time since I've seen you.
It's been
a very long time.
Over 5 years.
It's gotta be. I don't know when the last time was, but Raymond's a stage actor, a theater actor, musical theater actor. We had high school drama together, and he's since been doing great things. And I've been wanting to get him on here and talk about his journey so far, and maybe catch up a little bit. Like we just said, we hadn't talked about in about 5 years. So welcome. I'm so sorry to keep you waiting, but we finally made it happen. We're all set up. I know my theatrics are a little over the top for my little tiny apartment, but I
love it.
I try and make it for what I can. This is makeshift Shoebox Studios. We call it Shoebox Studios, right?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
In our little shoebox apartment. So how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm in town for a couple days. I don't know. As you know, I moved to Arizona about 3 years ago.
Yeah. So how's all that been going?
It's hot. Right now it's nice. The weather's nice right now because fall and winter.
Okay. So how long ago did you move? How many years?
3 years.
3 years ago.
3 years ago. The first.
And
Thursday.
you're doing all the stuff that you're doing out there, and it's with is it with school that you're doing that?
No.
That's just like
on.
Right on. And so you
Doing
and
my thing.
you and your boyfriend live out in Arizona?
We live with his family.
Oh,
his family
I
lived
see.
out there, and then so we moved out there shortly after that.
Nice.
So we live with his folks, but we have a nice little casita.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a little joint apartment.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. We have our own bedroom, bathroom, the works.
Nice.
So our own walkway.
I'm sure it's a lot bigger than this.
It's actually, we were talking to your girlfriend earlier. It's about the same size.
Really?
Ours is just long. It's just
Oh, okay.
long.
Okay. Well, cool, man. So what? I mean, obviously, being in a relationship kind of has something to do with it. But what gets you to? Because I mean, I see what you're doing on social media and stuff, and it seems like you're pretty busy with the whole theater and whatnot. So I know you were going to school out here, you went to Citrus, right?
Went to Citrus, and then I graduated from Citrus.
Okay.
And then kind of just auditioned a little bit, and then shortly, about a year later, I went to PCC for a couple semesters to continue training. And then shortly after that, then around that time, that's when we moved. So now I'm just...
So did you already have like connections out there in the theater scene?
At first, no.
Okay.
Because what ended up happening was, so when I lived here, I did a couple shows at the Glendale Center Theater.
Oh shit! Was that me that just popped? What did I just do?
Oh, I don't know.
What did I just do?
I sound louder.
I hit you a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I did. I turned you up. Let me hear you. Go ahead.
Hello.
Okay. Cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let
me turn you down a little bit.
Turn me down.
All right, there. I fixed you. All right, cool.
So yeah, I was doing some shows at the Glendale Center Theater when I lived out here. And then when I moved out there, I was like, looking at places to audition.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a theater out there called the Hale Center Theater. And lo and behold, they were all related. And so when I auditioned there, they're like, you worked with my brother out in California. And
oh, wow.
And so, and then I've been just in auditioning and getting in shows there ever since.
So that's interesting because with me, you know, I've gone into stand up and stuff. So with that, like there is a, you know, because of the world of social media, there's kind of a network that, you know, if you know somebody from Arizona, they come down to LA, you know, you give them few tips on who to talk to, or give them some spots on your bar shows or whatever, then they hook you up when you go down to like Arizona. I would imagine it's the same. Is it kind of like similar to that? Or?
I guess maybe. It just kind of all happened. I was just a coincidence. I was like, well, all right then. I mean, the theater community is very small.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you just in general, or just in the States?
Because like even like in Arizona, like I'm talking to people and they're like, oh, and I did this show here, and I was like, oh, you must, do you know this person and this person? And yeah, I mean somehow we all kind of know each other through different things. And
interesting.
And well, one of the directors out there, well, the main director out there, he used to work in California. And so he knew all the people I did shows with out here, like
nice.
the directors, producers out here. So it's crazy. Yeah,
I'd imagine it being,
world.
since you're in Arizona working, I'd imagine it being a little easier to get work out there. Is that safe to say, or is that kind of just?
It depends. Honestly, the talent pool in Phoenix is very good. Like the theater community, and I didn't even know it when I moved up there because I was like, well, what am I going to do when I move up there? Like, watch cactus grow? Like
right.
The theater community out there is huge. Like, almost,
really?
But I say it's equivalent, if not a little better than the LA theater scene out here.
Well, I would think so. I mean, just from what I understand, out here there's so much going on. It's just it's too much for anybody to even try and like support one thing or another. So and there's so many small community theaters all around here that run even comedy shows and stuff like that. I mean, even then, most people don't even know that there's a theater in their neighborhood out here. So I would imagine it being different in other states because there's not so much going on, if that makes sense.
I get you, yeah. And when I first moved out there, I very much felt that way. I was like, well, I mean, there's not a lot around here, but literally in the past 3 years since I've lived there, it's like, especially the town we live in, Mesa, Gilbert area, it's definitely building up. A lot more bars, a lot more like pub-like places, a lot more social life. So it's kind of building up, and because I feel like just the cost of living out there is cheaper, of course. And everyone's starting to figure that out. So it started becoming more populated, which is good, which is fine. Yeah. I enjoy it.
So did you even try and do anything out here, like as far as professional?
I've done some good stuff out here.
Okay.
Like
let's hear about it. Like what were you doing there at the theater?
So Glendale. So right after college.
Because I mean, the people who are listening to this they probably have no idea about our history of doing shows in high school for so much. I mean, you were the one that did that always. You were a theater nerd, like you were into
I was the full on theater nerd, full on like I'm gonna wear a beret and drink coffee and let me light my candle and say my thespian pledge.
Yeah. And we loved all that.
Oh, we took ourselves
way too
seriously. I look back and I'm like, oh God. God, like look at those pictures. I was like, and we thought we were the hot shit.
Yeah, we did.
Hot shit.
Well, we were, bro. Come on.
Oh. Yeah.
But anyway, but you, I mean, I'm gonna suck your dick a little bit here, but I'm not figuratively,
please.
figuratively though. But I mean, you were definitely the most talented of our era, I believe. And when we did shows together, I was always like, Ray's gonna do great things. Like everybody always talked about like how they wanted to be actors and do all this other shit, but I knew for sure you were actually gonna be the one person that would pursue it and actually be on stage like a lot more than anybody else.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
And I knew you were gonna be good at it because you were so passionate about it. You know?
Yeah. And it all started at a young age. Like, and I blame my mother. I'm like, Mother, you were the reason I'm gay because you took me to my first musical. And I was like, yes, that's for me.
That is how it works, huh? That's what I hear.
Oh yeah. And then came into like, oh, I'm gonna dress like Mary Poppins today.
Right.
So.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it just is, as long as I can remember, it's always been something I wanted to do, and I still want to do, and there's still a lot more I want to do. So.
Well, that's great. So let's go back to Glendale. So what were you?
Yeah.
What kind of shows were you working on there?
So right after college, I was just like, okay, so I'm done with college. Now I'm gonna get out there and.
Did you just go and like do? I mean, because I didn't even go to I went to college for like 5 minutes. And this is like the funny thing is like, you know, I haven't talked to a lot of people from, you know, our theater scene besides the, you know, Ricky and Garrett. Those are the only two that I've been really statically hanging out with. But so for me, when I got out of school, and then it was like they, you know, wanted to, you have to figure out what the fuck you're gonna do. Like immediately, you got to choose your major and all that shit, and it was just so overwhelming. But I got a Cal grant, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna take this semester off before I even went to school. So I was like, I'm gonna have to go to school right after the summer. Like that, I don't even get like a summer. That's crazy. So I was just like, fuck it. I took like the first year off, and then I went back. Still had all that money that the state was going to give to me to go to school, and I just fucked right off because I went in and I had money. I got money. I didn't fuck right off. I learned some like basic tools for like video editing and broadcasting actually. And
it worked to your benefit.
I guess so, you know, because I guess but those were the only 2 classes that I actually went to, because the rest of them were like,
it's like, what? General ed? What?
Yeah,
math.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, you got to do pre-algebra. I was like, nope, I did that like when I was 14, dude. I ain't doing it again. But anyway, so I took those a few general courses and stuff, and then the few tools of the classes that I actually liked, and I just took that and ran with it and just did my own thing. Yeah. So I didn't even go to school. And then I just started working and you know whatnot. And then so here I am now. But but anyway, so you went actually and did the whole 4-year college thing?
I did. Well, I went to community college. I went to Citrus. And I was so excited to go to Citrus because, like, you know, in high school, and like I always
my cousin's a teacher there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I knew that. Voice teacher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valverde.
Yes, I never had him, but when I went to Citrus, get this. So I went to Citrus. I went into just doing regular theater, but then I auditioned for their musicals, and hey, I got cast in some of them. So,
yeah.
But I mostly just focused on the theater part, the acting, you know, scene study, stuff like that, and that definitely was a great groundwork, you know. Because then later I studied more on the voice and dance and stuff like that, and so
you didn't get it. Well, I mean, I love to talk. I was talking to somebody that I had on another comic I had on here. He did jazz band.
Yeah.
And I think like some musical theater or something like that. And I was just like, oh no, I'm sorry. I was an actor I had in last week. He's like a pretty dramatic screen actor.
Okay.
And he's been on an episode of 911 on Fox.
Oh.
So he was on that, and we were talking and stuff, and he was talking about how, you know, how he got started because he was an EMT.
Oh wow.
And they needed EMTs for a TV show.
Hey, yeah.
And that's how he got started. And I was talking to him, and he said he did like some theater work and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I had to do Shakespeare in high school. And I was like, which I don't know why anybody thinks that's a good idea. And I'm like, Shakespeare and musical theater, like, can we stop doing that with high school kids? Like, everyone hates it,
right? But at the time when we were doing it, we're like,
we thought we were the shit.
We are Shakespearean actors.
I know
with our edited Midsummer Night's Dream script in an hour.
Meanwhile, my dad was falling asleep. Like, when's it over?
And my mother was there every night filming.
Yeah,
she's like making the costumes and.
Yeah, your mom was the team mom.
She really was.
Yeah. She was like, we had orange slices and Capri Suns, and she was our biggest fan.
Oh yeah. She was.
Anyway,
is.
Okay, so you said you were auditioning. Okay, so you doing dramatic roles. You're auditioning for the plays at Citrus.
Yeah, and I did a lot of the plays there. I did a lot of the musicals too. But I get more work in musicals just because I'm, you know, character actor who can kind of sing and kind of dance.
Right.
So, and I can kind of be funny. So that's been working to my benefit. But yeah, so did all that, and then after college auditioned, I was like, well, they're casting a children's show. They're doing Aladdin. I was like, hey, that sounds like fun. I can
that sounds
do
cool.
something like that. And then I went in, auditioned, and then they did. It was like a little version they did, they wrote themselves, but I got cast as the genie.
Go figure.
And we ran that for, I think it was like a 5 to
So
6 month
they
run.
didn't do like the Disney version, or was it a?
No, it was like a full on Saturday morning, like 99-cent store version. Of,
Okay,
Aladdin.
yeah.
Like they wrote, and it was a full on musical, like a hours long show.
Uh-huh.
I had a couple songs. It was fun.
Nice.
I got burnt. That was also fun.
You got burnt?
Yeah. They did the special effect where when the genie comes out of the lamp, there's like a spark that goes off. And I think it was the final dress rehearsal. We're running it, and all of a sudden I'm like doing my scene, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm getting singed.
Oh my god!
My costume's
your
on fire.
Costume caught on fire.
Yeah. And I was like, just patting it out,
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
whoop. And then I went off stage, and I was like, went to the costumer. I was like, I'm so sorry, but I burnt your costume. And she's just like, oh no, I have another one here.
Oh wow!
But they fixed that right away. They're like, yeah, don't stand under the flash pot next time, because I was standing like right underneath that, and it was still like, oh, that makes sense. I was so excited.
That's one thing I noticed about our makeshift fucking sets and all that stuff was that someone always got injured.
Oh yes.
When we were in high school, it was
Oh yes.
I mean, because this is the only look. Because after, dude, because of what happened so much in those 4 years that I was going through that, like, it really made me not want to do theater ever again.
Just because it was like a hazard.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
no, just everything that we went through and stuff. I mean, obviously, I don't, maybe I just realized I kind of got it out of my system, because all the
Okay.
training that I got out of that,
Mm-hmm.
I still like it helped me get into stand up, like
Totally.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Because I felt like I was ready. Like once I was ready, I felt like I was ready to do it. Because I had been so long just being such a pussy. Like this was something that I always wanted to do, and then it took me 4 years to finally sit down and like write a thing down, write an act out, and then go to an open mic.
That's great.
And then
See, I don't know if I could do stand up.
well, that's the thing is like that. Here's where I understand the difference is like you. I feel like I don't like working with other people, which is like I'm not much. Maybe I'm not that much of a team player. Whereas like you seem like a happy-go-lucky, more like kind of a ensemble type dude.
I try. I mean, you have those people like, oh god, then
Right.
can't stand working with them.
Well, of course, but I mean everybody's
There's one in
got
everyone.
that.
There's one in every group.
Yeah.
But
So maybe that's where it came from, because then after all that, like, because I did always want to still do acting, I still do like short films here and there and stuff, but I'm just so not a fan of like the competition of being like I'll go to an audition every couple months or so. Like I scored a pretty good commercial
oh, nice.
that never aired though.
Hey.
It was kind of a bummer, but
Oh.
yeah, I got a Samsung commercial
Hey.
for
that's
the Galaxy phone.
Okay.
And I mean it paid well.
Hey,
But I never
paid
got
well.
on TV.
I mean, did you get a copy of it at least?
No. I don't know where the fuck it is. It's just
Oh, you're real.
gone. Yeah, I don't know.
That's stupid.
Yeah, it sucked. But anyway, what about? So okay, sorry, I'm like jumping in here, but I'm trying to get like your path to like where you wound up right now. So,
Good question. No. So yeah. Well,
so we
where did I leave off?
were at Citrus. You said you caught on fire doing Aladdin.
But that was at the Glendale Theater.
That was
Not
at the Glendale
Citrus,
Theater.
no.
Okay.
No,
So
Citrus
how'd you
is-
get to the Glendale Theater?
Just auditioning. I looked it up on the backstage
Oh, okay.
website.
Okay, yeah.
Audition websites. And then I since being at the Glendale, I did a couple more shows there. I did a Christmas Carol a couple times.
Who were you in A Christmas Carol?
Over there, I've done so many productions of Christmas carols over the years. That year, I played the ensemble choir person, and then charity solicitor.
Okay.
So it was that. And I did that, and then the next year I kind of filled in a couple shows because I was just kind of like an understudy. I took that year off. I also did a musical there called Crazy for You, and that's to this day was one of the best shows I've done there.
So what kind of theater is it? It's just a small. Oh shit!
Ooh.
I should probably mute that.
You should mute that.
Usually people don't send me messages during this show, so that was interesting. Anyway,
Do
so
we get a message? Oh.
I don't know. It's probably just a personal. It's no one. Somebody commented. Let's see.
Get off the air,
Lawrence said, Raymond.
Lauren. Was that?
It's your yeah. Your I guess that'd be your brother's bandmate.
Oh, Lawrence.
Oh look, it's one of those fake accounts with a chick with her boobs out that just said hello, Ryan.
Hello, what's her name? Her name is Steve.
Her name is Steve. Yeah.
Hello, Steve.
Hello, Steve with titties.
Steve with titties. Bum, bum, bum.
Anyway. So the Glendale Theater, there's a lot of these tiny little theaters that I can't imagine. Is that what it was? Like how many seats?
So that theater was it's still there in the Round. All their theaters are in the Round. The theater I work at in Arizona right now is in the Round.
Okay.
It's a larger theater. It's about maybe 300 seats.
Oh, that's pretty big.
Yeah, and that theater's been there for over 60 years.
That's pretty big.
So they're one of the longest running theaters in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And then the one I'm working at now, I think they're in their 16th year, I believe.
So you got, so you did the musical there, and then
I did a couple shows there.
Any auditions for like TV, anything like that?
I did
any
a couple.
desire?
I did a couple of those auditions, but after that, I was like, I just hated those cattle call lines. I'm just like, eh.
Yeah.
Like what? I think I auditioned for Legally Blonde, 6. I don't know.
I think they just remade it or something.
Some
they're gonna
Legally
remake it.
Blonde. I remember auditioned. I auditioned for a couple of reality shows, like a couple of weight loss shows. I'm like, hey, I could lose weight and make money.
That's true.
But no, that never went through. Yeah, I mean, like film never really. I mean, I took film classes and stuff. Just never really did it for me.
Yeah.
I like doing this live stage, because it's just like you're going through it, like it's nonstop. You're just going. Whereas film, it's like, okay, let's take it again, try it again. I just like to live it. When you live it,
yeah,
and then you have to be on your feet. If you mess up, you're screwed.
Yeah,
you have to cover for yourself, which is very interesting doing in musicals with tracks.
Yeah, yeah,
I've had a lot of those.
Yeah, so. Tell us what that's like when you don't have when you're not playing with a live musician to kind of improvise with you.
Well, it's kind of like, well, you're on your own. I remember I was doing a show. I was doing Man of La Mancha, and I was understudying for the role of Sancho, and I had a couple rehearsals, and then I went on, and I was like, okay, here we go. And I was rehearsing. I was like, I got this. And I'm doing his first song, and I'm starting off great, and I'm like, all right, this is going good. Mm-hmm. And then I start singing like the second verse first, and I was like, okay, well maybe. And then in mid-verse, I'm like, oh no, they don't end the same.
Yeah.
And so I ended up just going like, ooh, 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 and everyone was like laughing, and I'm like, is this song over yet? Yeah. And everyone was like, oh, you sounded great. And I was like, really? No one noticed that? I guess not.
Well, I mean, at least you realized it in the middle of the thing, so you maybe can figure it out. But that's the I get that though. What you were saying is just being on stage. It's the instant gratification. Mm-hmm. So you get the applause, or if you have the funny part, and then you get the laughter. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why I don't think I'll ever stop doing stand up now. Mm-hmm. It's like I was just talking to my other actor friend that I had in here, and that's why he said he still does small theater work, because I mean, even though he's still like a working actor doing small parts on, like, I don't know what the fuck he does, like General Hospital or something like that. Oh, yeah. But he's got a recurring role, I think, on like Days of Our Lives or whatever, one of those like daytime soap operas.
Yeah, those are still around, huh?
Yeah, wow. Yeah. He said there's only like 4 left, but they're still going strong, and he's on one of them. He's got a recurring role. He's like they gave him a name now. That's I was like, that's a big deal.
Hey.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm no longer Steve. Just like cop one.
Steve with titties.
Yeah, something. Yeah, Steve with titties. That's. But yeah, that's what he was saying. He's like, yeah, it's like mainlining
mm-hmm.
gratitude. It's fucking amazing. But that's what also we were talking about. So I mean, I talk about bombing all the time, which is what's comes with doing comedy, doing mm-hmm. stand up and whatnot. I'm just like, you kind of have to come to terms with the fact that that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So when you screw up in a moment like that, what goes through your mind when you're on stage, but you still have a lot of other people to fall on. But in a moment like that, maybe, I mean, you're the one that's at fault.
And it was just me and one other person, and she looked at me and she's like, you are on your own. Like, she's just like, hey, yeah, it's all you.
So how many shows are you cranking out like every?
This year alone, I'm currently in my third production, and then I'm right after this one, I go right into Christmas Carol. So 4 total this year. But these are long runs. We run for about 7 to 8 weeks.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, how many shows a week?
Like 5 to 8, just depending.
Man, so that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
So you're rehearsing like all week then
we
too,
rehearse
right?
we rehearse for about a month. Then we do the thing. And right now, it's because I'm doing shows now Wednesdays through Saturdays, and on Monday, Tuesdays, I'm rehearsing for Christmas Carol. So it's just like nonstop.
Wow.
But
So are you just like, oh, my AC just turned off. But are you finally got a little quiet in here? Are you strictly only doing like theater right now, or?
I have a day job.
Okay.
I'm, your usual actor who serves.
Sure. Oh, okay.
Well,
yeah, that's something I should really fucking look into, because this whole office job thing, and then trying to do what I want to do in the, I was able to sustain myself for a small period of like 1 year where I was working 2 days a week, and just doing stand up and like commercials for like. For like 6 months, I was able to do it, but it was,
that's a hustle.
It was a real, but that's the thing though, is like I really want to do it again, because out of necessity, you work harder.
Yeah.
So, I want to put myself in that situation. Like, oh shit, I don't eat next week if I don't figure out what I'm going to do right now.
Yeah, and there's some moments like that too, especially when there's slow days, and I'm like, well, didn't make much money today, so.
Yeah. Do these productions? I mean, they can't really pay that well.
The Hale, where
I'd imagine that it'd be better in Arizona though, right? Like, I feel like the budgets would be a lot.
This particular, you have some theaters that don't pay, community theaters, and
yeah.
The theater, and then they also have a couple of equity theaters out there too in Phoenix.
What does that mean?
Like part of the union.
Oh.
And so they'll hire, union actors. Sometimes they'll come from New York though.
Yeah.
From New York, LA.
Yeah.
I haven't done any of those ones yet. I've auditioned for a couple of those.
Are you union?
No, not yet. I'm hoping soon.
I'm actually SAG eligible.
Hey,
but I'm like, I'm not gonna pay fucking $3,000 to not do gigs, because then you can only do SAG gigs. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, I've never done that. I've never looked into doing that, but they cast a lot of commercials and stuff like that on Phoenix too. I was looking at some of those.
Yeah, you actually start to realize when you travel a little bit that the entertainment industry is everywhere, and like you don't actually have to be in LA to make it. Actually, your chances are better in other states
because everybody comes to LA.
You're right. Yeah, that's what I was talking to my friend about too. He came from New York, and I had another friend, like, because he's actually making it happen. He came from New York, was like, came out. He said he was going to come out here, try it for 4 years. He's been here for 10 now. He's a working actor. So I was like, good on him, because I'd have another friend that drove across the country from Philadelphia to just here with like nothing, just in his car, and he's like, I'm gonna make it. I'm like, you shouldn't have done that, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're gonna die out here.
It's not like the movies.
And but he kind of said that same thing was just based on necessity. That's why you work harder, because he was like and the whole wanderlust is like kind of lost between, like, for me, because I'm already out here, so I don't know.
You know what's coming.
Yeah. So let's see. What else was I going to talk to you about? I'm just excited to have you here. I'm like, really, it's been a long time, man. I'm really happy to see you. You have any like crazy stories about being on stage or anything like that? Do you ever get heckled doing a theater? I mean, I imagine no, because there's some pretty respectful people that show up to that.
There's some respectful people, but I've done a couple of. I've done some gritty stuff where I was like, oh, okay. Like a couple years ago, I did a show in Phoenix, or it was in Scottsdale actually. It was called Ruthless the Musical, and
What's that about?
I
see, because this is another reason why I thought this would be a good conversation, because I know nothing about musical theater. Like, besides the big hits, fucking.
So the Ruthless is like a parody, pretty much a parody of like all the old classic Hollywoody kind of stage mother musicals. So
Okay.
I played like the mother. I was in drag, full
Oh,
on
okay.
drag.
Okay.
And I just remember like opening night, I went on, did my song, and like this old gay queen in the front row was just like, "Yes, mama." And he was just like, "Get it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." There it is.
That's fun. That's a fun heckle though. See,
That's
but
fun.
but then that's another thing that I the opposites of doing theater and doing stand up is like I would interact with that person. Like that would be like, "Yeah, dude." Like and like
well, I made a little gesture. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
But I was like, I still have another scene to do. So.
Right. Right. That's the thing is you kind of can't really interact with the audience too much. You kind of got to do your job.
And it's always fun doing shows where you're just like, like people on their phones and stuff. And I'm just like, really? You paid $40 to be here?
Fucking. Are you serious? Yeah, really.
Yeah. But as far as like heckling, and no, I haven't really had.
Not like. Did you hear about
nothing thrown at me or anything?
Not like Shia LaBeouf when he was slapping people in the ass. On Broadway.
No, I heard about that.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
So apparently, I like saw an interview where he like cleared that up. He said he was out with that cast of the show, drinking with them, and then they invited him to the show. Mm-hmm. And so that's why he was like slapping their asses and stuff because he was already partying with them earlier that day.
He's like, "Oh yeah, we can continue this."
He's like, "I know these guys," and then they kicked him out and then like the press took that kind of ran with it, but it's pretty hilarious. So is there any so you have no ambitions to do like movies or commercials or anything like that? I mean, it sounds like you're pretty content with like where you're at right now.
Yeah. Eventually, what I want to do, a good friend of mine and we want to eventually start our own kind of group going. I love directing.
Okay.
So I want to get more into directing. After college, I was invited back to Arroyo, and I directed some stuff there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that was fun, and I loved it. And I did helped out with a couple other like children's theaters in the group in the area.
Yeah.
So I missed that a lot. So I'd like to get back into that.
Yeah. What about writing? Any writing?
I've had ideas, but I've never really been serious about it. But it's an option. I've always had this vision of like it would be so cool to see a show completely filled with like overweight people. Because it's like every time you see a musical, it's like always like the skinny dancers, and I'm just like. No, like
that's a great idea.
I want all large people singing and dancing idea. And
what would the premise be? What's the who's the antagonist?
The skinny bitch. Gluten.
Gwyneth Paltrow in her Goop website or something.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know, but I always thought that would be so cool. And I remember like talking to some.
For some reason, I'm just thinking of a dance number like in a Burger King or something.
Hey, I'm stealing that. Have it your way.
Yeah, it's like somebody's ordering the food.
I don't know if you remember, in high school when we did.
I do. I remember your
when we did our
musical.
Subway musical.
Yes. I do remember that.
And that's kind of where it started. I was like,
yeah.
We can make this legit.
Yeah, that's a great idea. No, it really is. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why I keep thinking of like
that way. I'm just writing roles for myself, right. Really. So
I mean, why not? So that's the way to do it. And then you could direct it, and then then make yourself the star. You just be like your own Tommy Wiseau.
There you go.
You know what Tommy Wiseau?
I don't know what that is.
You know the movie The Room?
Yes.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He like
kind of like a Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Whoever that is.
He wrote the Hamilton.
Oh, okay. So what do you think of that one? What do you think
I
of
liked Hamilton?
Yeah.
It's fun. We saw it in Arizona. We won the lottery tickets. We sat in the front row, and we had a good time.
You won tickets?
I did. Yeah, $10 a ticket.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was.
Aren't they like a couple $100?
Oh, yeah. They got ripped off. Yeah. I was like,
so it's not worth.
I was like, this show's great, but it's not worth $200.
It's not
$2,000.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I've heard a few of the songs. I hear it's great. But,
it's fun.
I'm not. I've gone to like the big hit shows. Like I went to Wicked a few times.
Wait, what's Wicked? 15th anniversary.
What's Wicked? Isn't that like your favorite show?
That's one of them, yeah. That's my ongoing joke. You heard of Wicked, right?
Right. No. Yeah, I went twice.
I think we saw Wicked together one time.
I think we did, yeah. Wait, maybe I went 3 times. Fuck. I don't know. It's a great show. I really enjoy it. I saw Lion King about once or twice or something, and then, but that's it. Like my I think after high school, my Broadway career was over.
It's like next.
It's I don't know. Maybe it's I would love to go more to like smaller theaters. I don't really know the scene. Like I would love to go. There's this thing that I'm sure you've heard of it, but it's called. It's a silly little thing that they do at the Dragonfly. I don't know if they do it anymore, but it used to be. It was called.
It's a little bar, right?
The Dragonfly on I think it was on Santa Monica. It's a little club, like a.
I think I've been there a couple times.
Musical club. I've played there before in a band, but.
I think that's where I saw a Showgirls parody.
Yeah, so they do the parodies. They They do Showgirls Live, and they do Point Break Live.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and so I always wanted to go to that, and
with
I never.
The soak zones and stuff.
Yes, exactly. And then they were doing another one. I think they were doing Die Hard Live or something like that too, which was like gonna be. But I mean, that shit's hilarious, dude. But for me, I feel like if I'm gonna spend any money on theater, like I should probably just go watch a smaller play, just because I feel like. I don't know. I'm becoming more of like this, like support the artist, man.
Totally. I mean, there's always good theater to be found, and I enjoy going to the smaller venues too, more intimate, more.
Yeah, I don't know. You just feel like you're getting more of your money's worth. I think when you do that, because you kind of know that it's going to, the poor people.
Exactly.
And not the really, not that the people on the stage are the rich people, but it's kind of more like a gala event for other people, like just to say that I was at this thing with all these other.
I paid $3,000 and saw Hamilton.
Right. I mean, do you how do you ever feel like the theater is kind of getting not a bad rap, but like don't you ever feel like you want it to be a little bit more, a little more popular or anything like that?
I honestly feel like in the last few years, especially now that we have all these, rent lives and all these live broadcasting, that's opening up a lot of doors of theater, and I feel like theater has been becoming more popular, more mainstream.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just so disconnected, man.
Especially ever since Hamilton came out. I mean, obviously you've heard of Hamilton.
Well, I've heard of Hamilton.
So, and that was another thing that got people going.
That's interesting, but that was more of a New York thing. It never came to the West Side, did it?
It was here in LA for a long time.
See, look at that. Don't know.
Then I saw it in Arizona, but yeah, I knew it was in LA.
You saw it, and they took it on tour or something.
There's like 2 tours.
Is that how does that work? Do plays just go on tour?
Yeah,
they go on tour. Like they go to
they cast them. Yeah,
and so the same cast will go throughout the country.
They'll have like a touring cast. Yeah,
interesting.
Huh. I would love to do a tour one day.
Everyone would love to do a tour. That'd be amazing.
I have a lot of friends who've done different kinds of tours, and it's just like it looks like a blast.
Let's do this, Ray. We'll work on a play together.
The fat play.
The fat play. I'll help you write it. I'll do stand up in between.
Burger Kings across America.
And I'll wear a burger suit.
Hey, there you go.
And then and we'll be a Broadway hit.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Is there anything you want to ask me, or should we just wrap it up? Normally I go about an hour, but I was hoping for you to give me some cool stories about the gay theater.
The gay theater. Oh. I have stories.
Let's hear them.
Well, I don't know. You want gay stories?
I don't know, man. Just work with me here. Actually,
here's something fun.
Okay.
When I was still living here in LA, I did a show with this group called Unbound Productions, and it's called Wicked Lit.
What does that mean?
And they're doing it again this year. I mean, they've been going. I think it's their 10th year this year.
So explain what that is.
What it is we would do classic horror literature stories. in a cemetery and mausoleum.
That sounds like fun.
It was a lot of fun. And the year I did it, I got to play like this ghost creature who didn't speak any words, but just like kind of mumbled and stuff. And we did it inside the mausoleum, which was creepy. And
in the mausoleum.
Whoa. Yeah. And then because I was also like the story guy, because it was like a walking show.
Yeah.
And so we would walk groups.
Oh, so there's like a tour?
Kind of like a tour guide, but the actors would kind of move the scenes along. So we'll do
that sounds like fun. I would love to watch that.
It's quite a treat. And so, yeah, you walk through the catacomb. They did a show about catacombs, so you would walk down like the hallway of the mausoleum. And it's dark and it's like cold. It's very creepy. And
cool.
They did some good stuff. Cool special effects.
How do you get involved with that? You just
I just saw an ad. It was like, hey, we're auditioning, and I was like, well, I'll try out for it. And
then they're like, okay, get this, we're gonna walk through a cemetery.
Yeah, and at first I was like, wait, what did I get myself into?
Right.
But it ended up being such a really fun experience.
Yeah, it sounds really fun.
They did it around they're doing it now. It's around Halloween time. Yeah, and they would do like maybe 3 or 4 shows a night.
Oh, that's right. That reminds me of the last time. I think the last time I saw you was when we were both scare actors at that stupid Pomona Fairplex thing.
That's right. That's right. That was fun.
It was really fun.
I mean, I was over it by like the first week.
Yeah, I remember one of the last days I saw you. You were just like,
I was like, fuck this shit. I was like, they put me in like the lamest maze. I was like, we're punching in the pirate maze, and I was like,
you were in the pirate. Oh, I had a great maze. Mine was pretty fun. I was a vampire, so
that's right.
It was real fun.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And then the guy they put me with, and he was like, oh, I don't want to be here. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. And then like he stopped showing up, and so I was in that room by myself for like 2 weeks. And
you should have dude, you should have just walked over to our maze. That's what we started doing. We should have started crossing mazes.
Oh, really? I was just sitting in my corner, like, okay.
Yeah. So we both. I don't even know how. I think it was through the citrus thing, probably.
I think so.
So. We ended up being scare actors at the Pomona Fairplex for their thing.
Yeah.
It was the year before Rob Zombie actually took it over, which was kind of sad because I would have rather have done that one. But anyway, we did this one. It's like real fucking real.
I think there was just like 4 mazes.
There was only about 4 mazes, and
we were in the
they were
fucking
charging
barns.
like $25, and we were in the barns. It was pretty rough, but I had a lot of fun, man. It was like me and a couple other friends that were just like, fuck it, let's just do this. And
I'm all like, oh, like Ryan's there, maybe we'll do. No, they put me in the pirate maze with the guy who didn't want to be there.
No, we all ended up being in separate mazes too, except for me and my brother were in the same one.
Oh, okay.
So, but he was a werewolf and I was a vampire. So what we decided to do was start fighting each other.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
I was just sitting there talking to the fake alligator. I was just like, huh, how are you?
How was the pirate one? I don't
know, just pirate. It was literally just like props and like, I feel like people just left.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, ours was pretty good. We had some pretty scary people in ours.
That's good.
And then I would scare the shit out of people, and then I'd run and fight my brother at a different spot. And they'd be like, "That's the same guy from the other spot." And then we'd get drunk. And that was another thing too. We'd sneak in booze and just drink.
That's the shit. I should have just come to your maze.
You should have. We were passing around
just
whiskey.
The pirate sitting in the corner.
One of the times I got really drunk, and then like these people walk by. They're like, "Man, that guy smells like whiskey."
So it's like a 4D experience.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, that's not whiskey. That's blood.
That's blood whiskey.
That's blood whiskey. I forgot I had this board here. I always play little sound drops, but
we have our own sound drop.
Is this your? That'll be
That's for the gay stories.
Well, let's hear the gay stories. Let's go deep.
Oh, how deep do we want to? How deep do we want to go?
Balls deep.
Balls deep. Into a squealing hog. I'm gay.
Obviously.
Obviously. I'll tell you the story how I came out to my family.
Yeah, well, I remember being around when it was kind of like some people knew, some people didn't, some people were kind of like on the fence about it, or we weren't sure if you were sure.
I wasn't sure.
But it was like,
I am what I am.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, sure. Let's hear about that.
About like that time, or
whatever.
That time was boring.
When you came out, let's hear
that.
that.
So like, obviously in college, I was like, okay, I am full on gay.
Yeah,
like, cool. And then so it was my 21st birthday, and we're having a huge party at my house, and I am like gone. So gone.
You're drunk?
Wasted. And then I just go to my mother, and I was like, Mom, I have something to tell you. My mom was like, okay, what? And I was like, Mom, I don't know how to tell you this, but I think I'm gay. And she goes, yeah? And I was like, yeah. She goes, we all know. And I was like, how do you know? She goes, I'm your mother. She goes, you used to dress up as Mary Poppins. I was like, oh. And then like everyone was like, yeah, who cares? And I was like, hey, I just thought that was funny. And my mom's like, yeah, so whatever.
I mean, I'm sure she knew from the start.
From the womb.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Right. And it was all downhill from there.
Musical theater.
I'm really into the drag scene. I love the drag scene.
My I think actually it might be the Dragonfly, but my brother, he does a podcast called Rat Talk, and he's got a weird drag following.
Really?
Yeah.
Your brother?
Yes, because he has drag queens on his show, and he'll have them talk about their shows and all this stuff, and he would go and like take videos and post them on Instagram and stuff, and so now he's got a big drag queen following from going to these shows. You should, I don't know what fucking show it is, but there's one that he goes to all the time. It's like, and I don't know. They're trying to get me to go.
You should go. They're fun.
It looks.
They're so. People are so scared. Like, oh, drag queens are. They're so cool.
I'm not creeped out. I'm like, well, I don't know.
They're fun. You'd be amazed on what they could do.
No, I'm seriously.
You might fall in love with one of them. Like, you're gonna be like, that is not.
So do you go out to these clubs, or do you do anything like that? Or
yeah, we do. Me and my boyfriend go out a lot. We follow the RuPaul's Drag Race queens.
Oh, of course.
They come to town. They'll come to Phoenix and like in tours.
So you live near Phoenix then?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's about 30 minutes to Phoenix.
I don't know. I've only been through Arizona a few times. Like, I don't travel much, man. It's like, and
Phoenix is like a little LA.
I hear.
Yeah.
I hear. And I was like this close to going out for a little stand-up tour that I wanted to do, and but it wasn't gonna pay much, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna make ends meet to get out there and like do like $50 shows for a week and then come back and not. I mean, usually if you're a pro, they give you a place to stay, and it was like if I was gonna go out there, I'd have to pay for my own stay and all that shit, but.
Well, if you ever go, you can stay with us.
I'd love to.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Actually, maybe we'll just make it happen, and then and then we can write our
during
hamburger.
the fight musical, fight musical.
Fat musical. That's
with
a great
blood
idea.
whiskey.
Yes, should really make that happen.
Oh, I'm getting all these ideas. All right,
all right. Maybe we'll wrap it there. Do you have any closing words or any last stories you'd like to get in or anything like that? Anything you'd like to ask? Tell the folks at home.
Well, thanks for watching, I guess, listening.
Can we find you anywhere if anybody's listening in Phoenix?
Well, I'm currently doing Annie the musical at the Hale Theater in Gilbert, Arizona.
Who are you playing in Annie?
I'm playing Bert Healy. He's the radio announcer, and I play a bunch of other fun characters. And
nice.
Play through November till Thanksgiving weekend. So and then. Right into Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol. So are you're involved in just one like group right now then, right?
Yes. Recently, like last couple shows I've been at the same.
Actually,
theater.
here's what I want to know. How does somebody get from like where you're at to actually become like a Broadway star or something like that?
You just have to audition.
Just be good in audition.
You have to be good in audition.
It's not about like who you know this time.
Probably.
So
Probably is.
would you be able to know anybody that would actually get you through that?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I had some friends do tours and stuff, but not really like producer like. I mean, but like to be honest, I haven't even like attempted to like audition for stuff that big yet.
Why not?
I don't know.
Push yourself, Raymond.
I should push myself.
Yeah.
New year, new me. I'll do that.
Do it.
There.
New year, new me. There needs to be an event that happens in order for you.
I'm like, this is the year.
What is it with gay people and girls that just love like a date to make things happen?
Because it's just you have to have a date. I don't know.
You need a celebration.
You need to celebrate everything.
Celebration. That's
celebrate life.
Okay, celebrate life. We got it. All right. That's
what we'll close on.
That's what we'll close on. Celebrate
life.
Well,
and make a date.
Well, thanks for coming, dude.
Thanks for having me.
This was fun.
Thanks for squeezing me in.
Of course. Well, I'm so sorry that I made you wait.
Oh, you're fine.
You know, your friends, your boyfriend, and your friends are out.
They're out there listening to some like Ella records. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that's right. My fiance. Oh, by the way, thank you so much to Vicky for helping me
Vicky.
get set up and all that stuff. So you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan P. Demarest. Guys, thank you so much. Ray, can they follow you on Instagram or anything?
On the Instagrams, I am Ray X Bear, I think. And then
I just put that together in my head right now.
I think I am like the Ray X Bear. That's pretty much my handle for everything. So, because I'm a bear.
I got it.
And that's my favorite animal.
Ah.
Yes.
So. All right.
Alrighty.
Well, there we go.
Ryan.
That's Raymond Barcello.
Barcello.
Thank you so much.
Thank
man.
you.